Poco X3 Pro versus Redmi Note 10 Pro. Round 1. Fight! So hi guys, it's me, Richmond, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to pit two famous smartphones today that has been released. This Poco X3 Pro and of course the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Both of them are performer in their respective field. So right now we're going to pit them against each other and see who will come out the winner, so for you to choose the right phone just for you. So how about let's get it started. So we have here on our left the Poco X3 Pro, and on the other side we have the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Both devices I can say are awesome in its own category, in its own way. The Poco X3 Pro being a gaming beast, and this one I can say it's definitely a camera beast. Having a 108MP camera on this one is definitely gonna blow your mind away with all those awesome photos that you can capture. And this one, the gaming experience couldn't be better with the Snapdragon 860 inside this phone. So how about let's give them a comparison rundown on this video. At first glimpse, I can say that this one really looks a lot similar to that of the Poco X3, except that there's a little bit of aesthetics change. Other than that, everything is exactly the same except the processor and some little minor tweaks. On the other hand, this one has jumped up a lot over the Redmi Note 9 Pro. The design is all new. It is a lot thinner, a lot lighter, and of course, the camera bump, it looks a lot like a premium flagship, like that from the Mi 10T Pro. Now, comparing them both, I can say that this one has the better processor with the Snapdragon 860 7nm chip. It is coupled with the Adreno 640. Then, of course, it has either 628 gigs of storage or the 8256 gig of storage. Both of them are UFS 3.1, and this one can be expanded using an SD hybrid SIM. On the other hand, this one having a Snapdragon 732G, which is present in the Poco X3, an 8nm chip, Adreno 618. It has three configurations. You go for 664 gigs of storage, 620 gigs of storage, or 820 gigs of storage. All of them are UFS 2.2, and it has a dedicated SD card slot. Unlike this one, it's a hybrid. Definitely, I prefer this one having I can utilize both nano SIM as well as an SD expansion slot. Now, taking a quick glimpse down there, you can see both are USB Type-C ready. Both has loudspeaker, microphone, but this one has the audio jack down there. On the side, both are having their own respective SIM ejector tray. And up there, we can see that both has their stereo speakers up there. Both had their IR, both had their noise cancellation mic, but the Redmi Note 10 Pro has the audio jack up there. On the side, both has the power button / fingerprint scanner and the volume rocker. Only that the Poco X3 Pro has the old flat design, which is of course a little bit irritating to me. This one, the Redmi Note 10 Pro, having the rounded design for the fingerprint scanner. Now, checking the cameras, both of them has a quad camera setup. The Poco X3 Pro having the lower 48MP aperture 1.8 together with an 8MP ultra wide lens, 2MP macro lens, 2MP depth sensor. On the other hand, the Redmi Note 10 Pro has the awesome 108MP camera together with an aperture 1.9, 8MP ultra wide lens, 5MP macro lens, 2MP depth sensor. And up front, the Poco X3 Pro has the better front camera with a 20MP aperture 2.2, while the Redmi Note 10 Pro has a 16MP camera together with an aperture 2.5. Okay, right now we're going a little bit deeper and compare how fast the boot up for both of the device. So both are turned off right now, and we'll be turning it on in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so we can see that the Poco logo appeared first as compared to the Redmi logo. So let's see who would load the MIUI first. This one having the MIUI for Poco. This one has a MIUI 12 built in. So let's see. And definitely this one is a lot faster. This one has yet to open its MIUI. This one has already opened it. So we've seen that the Poco X3 Pro having definitely the faster processor over this one. So right now, let's try to open the camera app. So in 3, 2, 1. By no means this one can beat the speed of this one. I'm not sure why it's a little bit delayed, but let's try it again. Let's clear out everything to make sure that it's a fair fight. Okay, so let's try it again in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so this is just a little fraction behind this one, but definitely it is not so far behind. So both of them, I place it on the maximum brightness. Okay, so guys, we can see that the display on the Redmi Note 10 Pro definitely is a lot brighter, punchier, and it's more realistic in color as compared to the Poco X3 Pro. Now, this one has a 6.67 AMOLED display. Take note of that. Then it also has 120 Hz of screen refresh rate together with a HDR10 support, 1080p, Corning Gorilla Glass 5. And that's the screen of the Redmi Note 10 Pro. On the other hand, the Poco X3 has also equal size of 6.67 display, IPS LCD 1080p, but it has a tougher glass with the Corning Gorilla Glass 6, 120 Hz of screen refresh rate, HDR10. So it's almost comparable. Both has their own advantages. This one having an AMOLED display, this one having a tougher screen with the Corning Gorilla Glass 6, much more scratch resistant. But on the display category, I can say this one definitely gives me a better view of what I want to see on the AMOLED display. The black is blacker, more punchier. Definitely, I have to give it to the Redmi Note 10 Pro as the clear winner on the display category. Now let's try to open Google Chrome together. So yeah, definitely processing speed is a lot faster on the X3 Pro. Okay, so right now we're going to open the dialer in 3, 2, 1, go. Almost the same, but this one, the animation is a little bit faster by a fraction of a second. Then next is probably to open YouTube in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so this one is a little bit delayed, roughly a second delay as compared to the Poco X3 Pro. So right now, we're going to try to compare how fast the fingerprint scanner on both. So I've enrolled this one with my thumb. So right now, let's see in 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go. In 3, 2, 1, go. So it's almost the same. I can say both has reacted fast. And of course, I cannot say anyone is faster than the other one. It's almost the same for the fingerprint scanner. Now, taking a quick look at the bezel, I can say it's almost the same thickness. You see here, and we can put it side by side with this one. It's almost equidistant, but this one is a little fraction thicker than this one based on, of course, my eyes. On the side, it's almost the same. And on top, we can see that the punch hole, the Poco X3 Pro has a little bit bigger punch hole compared to the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Now, based on the thickness of each phone, I can say definitely the Poco X3 Pro is a lot thicker compared to the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Even on the weight category, the Redmi Note 10 Pro definitely is a lot lighter compared to this one. So right now, let's take a quick look and deep dive into some photos that we've gathered from these phones. Of course, the Poco X3 being one of the performer, but of course, it would definitely be blown away by the display. I mean, but definitely it would be blown away by the camera of the Redmi Note 10 Pro. So as we can see on the selfie camera, almost not far from each other, since this one has a smaller megapixel at 16 MP, this one having a 20 MP megapixel, taking some more shots outdoors. Now, based on this photo, I can say that this one is a lot brighter on the same angle, on the same place, and at the same time of the shutter. Well, this one take in the better shot, the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Now, some indoor low light shots, I can say that this one, the bokeh effect on the Redmi Note 10 Pro was a lot better compared to that of the X3 Pro on this photo alone. Now, taking this quick snap on a tumbler, I can say that this one looks a lot punchier. The one on the 108 MP camera, especially when you zoom into the tag. Okay, so this one probably can display something better as opposed to the X3 Pro. Now, to the video category, I can say both has captured sharp images on video, but of course, I should really give it to the Redmi Note 10 Pro, having the much clearer and, well, more realistic colors as compared to the X3 Pro. I really cannot compare 108 to a 48 MP. It's just really not fair for me. But of course, given that I need to compare it side by side, definitely on the video category, it will be the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Okay, right now on the front video category, I can say that they are almost the same, except that the one from the Redmi Note 10 Pro can capture a little bit more details as compared to the X3 Pro. Now, what I like about these two phones is that both of them still has the 3.5mm audio jack. The one on the Poco X3 is still down there, and the one on the Redmi Note 10 Pro is up here. This is a good news for gamers out there. Both device has the Bluetooth 5.1 setup, NFC, and on the battery category, the X3 Pro has a slightly bigger battery at 5,160 mAh, and the Redmi Note 10 Pro having a little bit smaller battery capacity at 5,020 mAh. Both of them sports 33 watts of fast charging capability, and it's really charging fast. And on the color category, both of them has the blue color, both of them has the dark black or gray color, and both of them has the bronze color. So right now, we're going to run down a little bit of benchmark on both of these phones. We can see that on Antutu category, and we can see clearly that the Poco X3 Pro has a better processor compared to the Redmi Note 10 Pro by a far distance. Both of them running Antutu 8.5. And right now, checking iTutu, we can see that the score is more than doubled from 103 to 229,000 points. As we can see, the benchmark score for Slingshot Extreme OpenGL ES 3.1, it's really more than doubled. We can see that on the Redmi Note 10 Pro, it's just 2,284, while on the X3 Pro, it's more than double at 4,695 points. So on the Poco X3 Pro, we can see that we can set graphics quality to very high and max frame rate, which is probably one of the plus factor here on the Poco X3 Pro. It's definitely gaming. So checking the gameplay, I can say that the graphics really is really nice. So this is how good the graphics is here at Call of Duty. So we can see definitely on the Poco X3 Pro, the gameplay is definitely very nice. I can see it's very fluid. You can unlock almost all the high settings for Call of Duty. Definitely on Mobile Legends and PUBG, it's the same. You can unlock all those high settings without a hitch. Now, based on my gameplay, I can say it's very responsive. Though I cannot say that there's no frame drops, it's very, very minimal. If I can say that the sounds is really nice. You have stereo surround sounds. It makes the gameplay even much better. So right now, let's try gaming on the Redmi Note 10 Pro. We can see that on graphics quality, we can set it to very high, but we have to lower it on the frame rate. But once we put the frame rate up to the maximum, we need to lower a little bit of our graphics quality. So I want to have a high graphics quality, but the best frame rate possible. So that's the settings I'm going to use right now here on this gameplay. So right now, let's try to get onto a game here using the Redmi Note 10 Pro. So we can see the gameplay on the Redmi Note 10 Pro, it's good. But of course, comparing it to something better than the Poco X3 Pro, this one I can say that there's a little bit of lag. And of course, the graphics is definitely better on the X3 Pro. But I can say the AMOLED screen kind of compensated for the display quality and of course the high graphics quality. It's almost good enough for me, but of course, I really have to give the X3 Pro the upper hand when it comes to gaming. Okay guys, you have seen the battle between two giants, the Poco X3 Pro and of course the Redmi Note 10 Pro. In terms of performance and gaming, I would give Poco X3 Pro definitely the upper hand. But on the other side, on camera photography, no doubt, it's the Redmi Note 10 Pro. So, which one did you choose? Would it be this one or this one? Sound up on the comment section below so I'll know what preferences you would like, camera or gaming. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course click that bell icon so you don't miss any future videos here from my channel. So I hope you like this battle and I hope to see you on my next video. Goodbye!